Hi, this is Sean Phillips. This is my Module 10 presentation about gifts to students and staff for EDL 854 School Law. During the course of a school year, there are teachers that put in a lot of hard work. They do a lot of good things for students. There are students that work hard and achieve at high levels, that do wonderful things for the school and their surrounding community, and there are support staff that also invest heavily in the success of students at your school. And one of the things that schools will do many times is to try to give them gifts to try to show their appreciation for all the hard work that's been done. As an administrator, it's important that we think about how we go about giving these gifts and also how we pay for these gifts. That way money is handled appropriately and there's no question as to how educational funds are being used. So we're going to take a look at some of those guidelines, and the first thing we want to do before we do that, though, is just decide what is a gift. A gift, in general, is anything that you're going to give to a student or staff member that is intended for their own personal use. It is not something that's going to be used by a teacher in the classroom, and a student is going to get this gift, and it's something that they are going to use and be able to take home with them. It doesn't become necessarily something that they would maintain at school, and they certainly wouldn't give it back. So for teachers, this might be, for example, a teacher that is getting married. The school may want to give them a wedding gift just to wish them well on this big life event. After several years of service, districts or schools may want to recognize their staff members for their time involved with school or education in general, and so they may give them a gift. Other examples might be for students. On their birthday, a teacher might choose to give a gift, a small gift to a student to celebrate their birthday. It could be as simple as like a pencil or eraser or stickers, things like that. Or you could give books to students. These are just a few examples of what you might do. A good rule of thumb, however, to decide if something is a gift or not is if it leaves the school when the teacher or student leaves, then it's a gift. It's not something that should be expected to be returned to the school. It becomes their own personal property. So let's start off by talking about student gifts. There are several different ways or times that you might give a student a gift, and a common one is a fundraising incentive gift. This happens a lot in schools. We've all seen the different things that students try to sell in order to try to raise money for their school and different activities. For these, it's important that with the funds that are raised here and we decide to give a gift, that we give it to students that actually participated in that event. We do not want to give it to students outside of the event that didn't get involved in it, because then it looks like we're not using our funds appropriately. The gifts must be purchased from the money that is generated through the fundraiser. Okay, you are not to use district money for this or building money. You should use the actual monies from the profits from that fundraiser to purchase those gifts. It's important to make sure any gift that we buy is always age appropriate, nothing that's too advanced for younger students or maybe lower level for our upper students. And it's also important that we make sure that the gift that's bought is not overly excessive in terms of expense, because remember, the whole purpose is to generate funds for something for the school, and every bit that we spend on the gift is less money to be able to use for that particular function. So an example of something that you might give for a fundraising incentive gift is maybe you give a small gift card for something, a local restaurant, or any other type of gift card that you might give. And there are other things as well, but just some smaller type thing that a student could have for their performance on the fundraiser. Sometimes you might give gifts if it's not necessarily for a fundraising goal, not tied to that fundraising. You need to make sure that you don't necessarily favor particular groups. That should be something that's available to all students. Other student gifts are achievement gifts, and there are lots of different ways that students achieve throughout the year. One, they might achieve academically, so good grades, or maybe athletically. This would be something maybe like an athletic banquet at the end of the year to celebrate the success and achievement of teams and individual players. And then you also might give achievement for character. Maybe just to show the appreciation of being able to do things the right way and showing high character. It's important, again, for these things to be minimal. You do not want to purchase high expense items because, again, you're going to be using up funds that could be used more appropriately for academics themselves. Again, making sure everything is age appropriate, and you can pay for achievement gifts out of the general fund. or you could pay for them through donations from maybe your local PTA or different parent groups that are put together. They could donate to this, or even the athletic fund for maybe your athletic banquet stuff. I will say that you do need to be careful and look at your guidelines for your particular athletic governing body, because I know here in Kansas it would be frowned upon to use your athletic budget to buy gifts for students. That's something that shouldn't be done there. So you may want to check that depending upon what state you might be in. So examples might be, academic, maybe there's a class that achieved at a really high level. You want to offer them maybe a pizza party or something like that. I know at the school that I work at now, we would give out pins. We called them Aim for Excellence pins, whether it be achieving academically or doing the right thing and showing the character of the student. We would give them a recognition with an Aim for Excellence pin. And also we had Student of the Quarter medals that we would give out, where staff would recognize a particular student that they have and show them or give them a medal for their achievement for whatever the category may be for that. It's important when you're giving these gifts that you keep public opinion in mind. Make sure you don't look like you're wasting money by spending on frivolous things or spending a large amount, because generally the idea would be to use that for education, not for just gifts. You also might give an adult a special occasion gift. Okay, so who would get a special occasion gift? Well, this is going to be for specific staff members, not entire groups. It's going to be focused on a small few, and also this is something that would happen infrequently, not something that you're going to give all the time to the same staff member. These special occasion gifts should be purchased through something called a staff remembrance fund. I know at my school where I work here, we have a staff fund, and every year we are asked to donate to that staff fund. Typically $25 is what we shoot for, and then that staff fund is how you will go about paying for these special occasion gifts. So donations from the staff or just money in general that is raised by the staff, those can be used for these special occasion gifts. It's important, though, with this money being handled here, that there's a committee that's put together. So there's more than one person overseeing all the money handling and ordering of gifts and things there, and that there are set protocols involved for how you're going to go about purchasing and bookkeeping this. There should be an annual audit of this to make sure that the funds have been handled appropriately through that year. So what are some examples of special occasion gifts? We mentioned a wedding gift earlier. It could be a gift card somewhere. Could be a baby shower gift type of thing. Your service time gift, at the school I worked at before, at a certain level, you would get a watch to represent that you the appreciation of the district that you were there for so long. Or maybe some special day, like a secretary's day, administrative assistant day. That would be purchased out of the staff remembrance fund as well. You also can get fundraising incentive gifts for staff as well. So this would be for staff involved in it. Maybe their class raised the most of anyone. And so they would have to meet that criteria. Or it could be more likely individual staff and their involvement in fundraising, and they raise maybe the most. This again would be taken out of fundraising profits, just like when we talked about with students. Purchasing things that are reasonable cost, and typically a good guideline for this is try to buy things that are less than 5% of the overall profit. So a gift certificate maybe to a restaurant or something like that would be appropriate here. Or maybe movie tickets, that would be something that might be appropriate, or anything along those lines. Occasionally schools will want to try to give all staff gifts. Okay, this is something that's going to go to every single staff member. A lot of times this is like, at the very beginning of the school year, try to generate some excitement, something like that. Well, who's going to pay for this? Well, this is going to be money that's generated from the staff or also money that's been donated. A lot of times schools will use like vending machine profits. You can rack up a lot of money through vending machines throughout the year, and any fundraising things such as like donut sales or something like that to help generate money just for this. It is possible to use district funds in this case. However, if you're buying an all-staff gift from a district fund, you want to make sure that it's something that they're going to use for the classroom and is also inexpensive as well. So some examples here. Staff t-shirts are pretty popular. You can see right there at the top, Tonganoxie High Rocks. Yeah, that's where I work. Staff shirts to get the excitement going for the school year, set a tone. Maybe there's a motto for the year, and something like that would be purchased for all staff. Maybe you give everybody a water bottle so that they're carrying around something that has like the school mascot or something like that, or a lanyard for their school keys to be on. These smaller, cheaper items that they can purchase at a low cost. You also might give gifts occasionally for just a specific teacher or for a specific student. Typically, that is something that's only going to happen if there's a catastrophic event that occurs. If you're going to do this, if you're going to give to a specific person or student, make sure that you consult your district accounting department first. Okay, you don't want to just do this on your own. Understand that when you give money to staff, that is technically income coming from school, so you don't want to give so much money that it's going to affect them and cause tax issues. Also, it's probably a better idea to try to get a community organization or something to get involved here, and they be the ones that run this since you're giving to a specific individual. We don't want schools to appear that they are singling out individuals to try to donate to. That could maybe look bad in some instances. And typically try to get the bank to handle those funds just so it doesn't mess with your bookkeeping and could cause some issues there. So some other things to consider here. First, always make sure it looks like you're not wasting money. Consider how much you're spending and what the gift is so that it looks like money's being spent well. Second, make sure that you have multiple people involved just to try to avoid any fraudulent activity. So you should have different people collecting, depositing, and purchasing the gifts. And then don't use this money, any like building level district money, whatever, on all staff meals. There are other places that you could do that from through money that is raised by the staff. And then a general rule is just, show your appreciation for those people, but make sure you are responsible with what you're doing. So if we can keep those things in mind, then we can handle gifts in an appropriate way, and it'll be something that's beneficial to staff, but also keep us, grounded with strong financial protocols, and it will keep us out of hot water with how we're going to spending money. So thanks for listening, and I hope that was informative for you. Thanks.